It's really quite something when you think about it, the power of just one voice.
Mm-hmm.
When a speaker gets up on stage, connects with, I don't know, hundreds, maybe thousands of people, something else happens.
Like a connection forms.
Exactly, a shared understanding. Our source material even calls it a prodigy, a kind of sorcery.
Sorcery, right?
Where, 1,200 minds can just synchronize perfectly. So you have to wonder, okay, how does that happen? How does that information, transfer and stick around, influencing people for years?
Well, what's fascinating is that this isn't really new, is it? Public speaking, it's an art form that's, it's ancient. Anchored in the night of time, as they say.
Like the original campfire story.
Exactly. Think about our ancestors gathering around, sharing knowledge, warnings, vital stuff.
Yeah.
And now we sort of entered a new age of fire, right? Mm-hmm. But the campfire is global.
Ah, okay.
With the internet, a single conference, a single talk can reach millions. It amplifies the spoken word way beyond anything since maybe the printing press.
It's huge.
It is. And the really exciting part, this ability to connect, to influence, it's not some mystical gift. It's actually a skill, a learnable skill, genuinely accessible to everyone.
And that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're looking at Parler en Public, TED Le Guide officiel by Chris Anderson.
The TED Guide.
Yeah, and it's more than just a book, right? It's like years of TED experience distilled down, figuring out what makes speaking truly connect, and crucially, how you can learn to do it.
Right. So let's cut right to the chase, the absolute core.
Okay.
The source is really clear on this. The only thing really important in public speaking, it says, it's neither your degree of assurance, nor your stage presence, nor your charming side. None of that is the main thing.
So what is?
What counts is having something to say. That's it. The idea.
Yeah.
The idea that takes shape. The pearl to discover.
The pearl. I like that.
It's not just having an idea, but finding its simplest, most powerful form. That nugget that can genuinely shift someone's understanding.
Like the example they gave of Sophie Scott, the neuroscientist.
Exactly. Her talk on laughter wasn't just like fun facts. It fundamentally changed how the audience saw laughter. As a basic human function. It gave them this new mental construction that actually stuck.
That's such a critical point, isn't it? Because a great talk, then, is really about giving something valuable to the audience, not taking from them.
Precisely. And the source really hammers this home. One of the biggest traps is the sales pitch.
Oh, yeah, the self-promotion bit.
Right, or any kind of overt self-promotion. They tell this story, kind of awkwardly, about a well-known consultant.
Oh, I remember reading that. Didn't go well.
Not at all.
Yeah.
He starts by just listing his achievements. 5 minutes in, the audience is visibly, annoyed. The author actually had to step in.
Wow. Compare that to Brian Stevenson, the human rights lawyer.
Such a contrast, right?
Yeah.
His NGO needed money, desperately. But he gets up there. Never mentions it once.
It once.
Nope. He just shares these stories, sometimes funny, always deeply informative, about injustice in the U.S.
And there was a standing ovation, wasn't it? And massive
A
donations.
multi-minute standing ovation. And over $1.3 million raised. Spontaneously.
Yeah.
Because his focus was entirely on sharing the idea, on building understanding. That generosity. It inspired action.
It's that paradox again, sometimes, you have to completely focus on giving.
Absolutely. And if you're not giving, if you're holding back that substance, that's when you hit the other big pitfall, the blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. Lack of preparation, basically.
Yeah, essentially, or just a diluted message.
Yeah.
Look, the audience gives you something incredibly precious, something you can't get back.
Yeah.
Their time, their attention.
Right.
So as speakers, it's our duty, really, to make every single second worthwhile.
Okay, like the example of announcing the new department.
Perfect example. 2 ways to do it. Version 1. Weird, all technical details. In 2012, we created a new department in Lille. Snooze.
Yeah, lost me already.
Right. Version 2, the one the book highlights. Engaging sparks curiosity. In 2012, we made a surprising discovery. Every office could cut energy use by 60% without losing productivity. How?
See? Totally different. It hooks you by focusing on the discovery, the benefit.
Exactly. It respects that gift of attention.
And then there's this trap of inspirationalism, trying too hard to be inspiring.
Oh, yeah. The source is pretty blunt about this. Inspiration isn't something you just, demand by looking at them with wide eyes.
Yeah, you can't just yell, be inspired.
Doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
It's earned. Through sincere, courageous, disinterested, authentic wisdom. Often takes blood, sweat, and tears.
So it's a reaction to real substance.
Exactly. It's a reaction, not a performance goal. If you chase inspiration directly, like chasing love, it tends to run away. It's a byproduct of connecting deeply, not the aim itself.
Okay, so you've got the substance, the idea. Now, how do you structure it? That's the backbone concept, right?
Precisely. The backbone. The central thread. The single main idea of your talk.
And the challenge is?
Can you state it in 15 words, maximum?
15 words. That forces some serious clarity.
It really does. Think of yourself as a guide. You're leading the audience somewhere specific. Every step, every point needs to bring them closer to the destination. Keeps everyone, including you, focused.
It makes sense, and it's weirdly counterintuitive, isn't it? That an 18-minute talk, like a TED Talk, often needs more prep time, not less.
Totally. Woodrow Wilson's quote comes to mind. For 10 minutes of speaking time, it takes me 2 whole weeks.
Wow. 2 weeks for 10 minutes.
And Amanda Palmer's advice is gold. Free up space and say less.
Say less. How does that work? Silencing the ego.
Yeah, basically. Let yourself just be a channel, a simple vector for the idea itself. The author's own example is great, comparing 2 intros he did.
Right, the factual one versus the evocative one.
Exactly. The factual one listed things chronologically. The other focused on his core identity. A dreamer obsessed by the force of ideas. Which one connects more?
The dreamer one, for sure. Less data, more resonance.
Because it's focused. It conveys the essence, not just the facts. It's about the power of that single defining idea.
Okay, so let's get into the toolbox. The practical stuff for crafting this message. First up, establishing contact.
Right. Because people aren't machines, are they? They walk in with, well, skepticism, mistrust, aversion, boredom, incomprehension, all sorts of barriers.
So you need to break through that first.
You do, through warmth, presence, authenticity, and surprisingly, one of the most powerful ways is vulnerability.
Vulnerability? That seems risky.
You can feel that way. But think of Brené Brown. She opens her famous talk by sharing how the organizers struggled to label her job, worrying researcher sounded boring. It's relatable, disarming.
Or Sherwin Nuland admitting he felt like an imposter after a mental health crisis.
Exactly. That kind of openness creates an immediate deep bond. It says, I'm human, just like you.
Okay, alongside vulnerability, humor, that seems more straightforward.
It can be incredibly effective for disarming people and building connection. Ken Robinson's talk on creativity, it opens with this hilarious line.
Oh, yeah, the one about moving house.
Right. And the audience just exploded with laughter. Instantly set a light, receptive mood.
But there's a big warning label here, isn't there?
Absolutely. Huge warning. Test your humor first on actual humans.
Good advice.
Make sure it's actually funny and, crucially, in good taste. Avoid cliches. Avoid sarcasm or jokes about sensitive stuff like religion, ethnicity, sex, politics.
Yeah.
Just steer clear.
So keep it safe, like Tony Blair's story.
Yeah, his self-deprecating story about meeting the Queen of the Netherlands, mistaking her for someone else. It's small, relatable, makes him seem human, wins the audience over.
Okay, next tool, storytelling. This feels fundamental.
It is. Our brains are literally hardwired for stories. It goes back, way back. Hundreds of thousands of years of gathering around fires, sharing narratives.
So it taps into something deep in us.
Definitely. The classic structure, protagonist, goal, obstacle, climax, resolution. That's the bedrock. But what's cool in these talks is seeing how speakers use stories not just to entertain, but to carry complex ideas.
Making the abstract concrete.
And building empathy. When you follow a story, you step into the character's shoes, you feel what they feel. Malcolm Gladwell talking about spaghetti sauce.
Right. Seems so mundane.
But he uses that story brilliantly as a parable, a way to explain a really complex idea about consumer choice and diversity. Simple story, profound insight.
Okay, what about when the concepts themselves are really tough? Yeah. Explaining difficult concepts, how do you handle that? We all suffer from the curse of knowledge, right?
Oh, absolutely. Once we know something well, it's incredibly hard to imagine what it's like not to know it. That's the curse.
So how do you break it?
Metaphors, analogies, powerful, concrete examples. Dan Gilbert talking about synthetic happiness.
The flight simulator metaphor.
Exactly. Instantly makes a complex psychological idea graspable, and then he hits you with that stat.
Lottery winners versus paraplegics, equally happy after a year.
Right. It just shatters your assumptions and opens your mind to his point. Or Bonnie Bassler on bacterial communication.
Quorum sensing. Sounds very technical.
It is. But she starts by saying, you host 10 billion bacteria, makes it personal. Then she explains quorum sensing in layers, how they talk, coordinate. Makes microbiology surprisingly clear and fascinating.
And sometimes the goal isn't just explaining, it's actually changing minds. Convincing.
Which as the source points out, often means you have to demolish before you build. You have to dismantle existing beliefs first.
Like Steven Pinker arguing violence has declined. That feels counterintuitive.
Hugely counterintuitive. So he starts by showing you just how brutal the past was, cats burned for fun, high death rates in primitive societies. Shocking stuff.
Okay, so he sets the stage.
Then he points out media bias, why we think things are worse now. Then he brings in the per capita data, showing the actual decline. It's a careful process of breaking down resistance before presenting the evidence.
Smart. And what about Dennett's intuition pumps?
Ah, brilliant concept. They're like thought experiments or vivid stories designed to trigger an intuitive leap in the audience. They make you feel the conclusion before it's even stated.
Like Barry Schwartz in the jeans shopping nightmare.
Perfect example. He describes that overwhelming feeling of too many choices so well, you feel the paradox of choice before he even names it. You get it instinctively.
And then there's pure reason, like Dan Pallotta.
The long-range missile of reason, yeah. His argument about nonprofit overheads is just killer. He uses proof by absurdity.
The cake sale example.
Right, comparing the charity bake sale with 5% overhead raising $71 versus the pro fundraising firm with 40% overhead raising $71 million. Which cake does a starving person want? It demolishes the simplistic low overhead is always better argument.
Okay, shifting gears slightly. Delivery. Let's talk visuals. Slides. Always necessary.
Well, here's a surprise. 1 in 3 of the most watched TED Talks. No visuals. None at all.
Really? 1 in 3?
Yep. So no, they're not always needed. Sometimes they just distract from you and your message.
So if you do use them?
They have to earn their place, be genuinely revelatory, explanatory, or aesthetic. And the absolute golden rule, 1 idea per slide.
1 idea. To manage cognitive load.
Exactly. Avoid death by PowerPoint. It's not just about clean design. It's about respecting the audience's brain power. Let them think with you, not just try to decode a cluttered slide.
Practical tips, like background color.
Yeah, use a 16:9 ratio for modern screens. Yeah. And often, black backgrounds make full bleed photos really pop, reduces visual noise. I tried cramming too much once. It felt like fighting the audience just to get through it.
Been there. Okay, what about the text itself? Memorize or go spontaneous?
Ah, the great debate. Speakers really differ here. Elizabeth Gilbert, for instance, feels safer memorizing. Yeah. Feels vulnerable without it.
Okay.
But Stephen Johnson, he prefers a more conversational feel. Thinks people can spot a recitation a mile off.
So what's the verdict?
Ultimately, the goal is for it to feel like a conversation, even if it's meticulously planned. It shouldn't sound recited. That allows you to connect, to maybe even play with unexpected moments.
And practice is key, presumably, even for pros.
Absolutely paramount. Look at Bill Gates. Went from honestly a mediocre speaker to a remarkable one. How? Practice, rehearsal, meticulous preparation lets you be truly present.
Makes sense. You need to know it cold to make it feel warm. What about starting and ending strong?
Hugely important. That first minute, crucial. You got to grab their curiosity fast. Avoid weak openings like small talk or apologies.
So what works?
The source gives 4 good options. Make a bold, maybe surprising statement.
Okay.
Awaken curiosity like Ed Young talking about parasites and zombie cockroaches. Who isn't hooked?
Haha, right.
Show a really compelling visual like a Laura Hardy's bamboo houses. Instant wow factor.
Yeah.
Or tease the topic without giving it all away like Fei-Fei Li on computer vision.
And the ending. The last impression.
Yeah, it's what people leave with. Definitely avoid common mistakes like fizzling out apologizing or long drawn-out thank yous.
So stronger alternative.
A clear call to action is powerful. Think Amy Cuddy telling you to try the power poses. A personal commitment can be incredibly moving. Bill Stone pledging to go to the moon, Diana Nyad vowing to swim to Florida.
Inspiring stuff.
Or painting a shared vision for the future like Rita Pearson's talk on education. Leaves people uplifted and motivated.
Beyond the script and slides, there's the speaker themselves. Psychological prep and stage presence.
Vital. Nerves are normal. Adrenaline is normal. It's about taming it. Monica Lewinsky had this whole extensive routine before her TED Talk to manage intense pressure.
Wow. What else helps?
The author mentions doing push-ups before an interview, just channeling that energy. But the real key, shift your focus. Focus on the idea you're sharing, its value, rather than on your own nervousness.
And physical presence.
Be grounded. Stand intentionally. Use natural gestures that reinforce your words. Basically, your body should collaborate with your head. Your physical self should support the message, not distract.
Things are changing too, right? New formats and speaking.
Yeah, the landscape's definitely evolving. You see multisensory stuff like chefs cooking on stage, live podcasts being mixed right there, like Roman Mars.
Blurring the lines.
Totally. And even virtual speakers, Edward Snowden, dialing in via robot, Tony Robbins, as a hologram.
Crazy stuff.
Right.
So does this change the fundamental nature of speaking?
Well, technology opens amazing doors. But the source reminds us, and I think it's true, that the core human exchange, that direct connection, is still the most powerful form of communication we have. It's deep in our wiring. Tech enhances, but doesn't replace.
So looking bigger picture now, this renaissance of the spoken word, what are the implications?
Well, the book argues that in this age of knowledge, what we really need is, well, contextual knowledge, creative knowledge, and a deeper understanding of our humanity. And that comes from incredibly diverse sources.
So we need more voices, more perspectives being shared.
Exactly. It calls for a new generation of public speakers. And the message is clear. Everyone can take part in this revolution. It's democratized.
Absolutely. And the internet fuels that, doesn't it? That interconnection of people, like the LXD dancers you mentioned.
Yeah, the Legion of Extraordinary Dancers. They basically created this global online choreographic workshop just using YouTube, refining their art, sharing, learning from each other.
That's amazing.
This whole online ecosystem gives unprecedented visibility, unprecedented stimulation to anyone with something unique to share. It really has changed the game from local acts to potential global phenomena.
Which brings us back to that core idea, finding something worth sharing.
And it really boils down to what Dan Dennett calls the secret of the philosopher.
Which is?
Find something that matters more than you and devote your life to it. That's your purpose, your grail.
Find your grail. That's powerful. So the takeaway for you listening is maybe find your important thing, that passion, that insight, that grail, and then share it with energy, skill, and determination. Be that spark.
Yeah.
And while sure, there's always a risk of bad actors, demagogues using these tools, the source is ultimately optimistic.
It suggests the sheer volume of shared knowledge, combined with the long game of reason and, basic human values like compassion. It tilts the balance towards good.
Like Martin Luther King's idea, the moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends toward justice.
Exactly. And dialogue, sharing ideas, mutual understanding, that's how we help it bend.
So it's about connecting, clarifying, convincing, sharing your idea.
Which leaves us with a final thought, maybe a challenge for you, considering all this. What is your unique contribution going to be? What can you share to nudge things, even a little, towards that more just, more compassionate future?